Hey folks, it's Andrew Priestley. I'm just checking my tie here. And welcome to, I think, what's a really good episode of Multiply Your Money. This is episode number 20. And just before we jump into this, if you're really enjoying what we're discussing here, okay, I'm going to put a link below. I would love you to, if you're really getting value from this, I'd love you to donate to the Clear Sky Children's Charity, which I'll put the link below. Okay, it's a charity that's close to my heart. If you know, these Clear Sky basically provides play therapy for children aged 4 to 12 who've witnessed or directly experienced a trauma, and it's based on the idea that childhood is precious. So if you're benefiting from what we're doing here and what we're chatting about, then give back. Okay, I don't make any money from this, but I would love someone to benefit, and I think Clear Sky is a good beneficiary in this case. Hey Ray, there's Ray. Hey Ray, and there's Sebastian. Good to see you. So, yeah, really good to see you. Ray, I was in Geelong for one of those reunions, one of those high school reunions. There's Paul O'Connor, there's my great mate Paul. Hey Paul, how are you, mate? I was in Geelong and I got caught up, mate. I'm really sorry I didn't get to see you this time, but we can chat on Zoom. And there's Rob Tozer. Hey, there's another Bell Park guy. So this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a book called The Money Chimp, and it's basically spend less, save more, get out of debt faster. Okay. Now, here's the thing. When I talk to people, I'm a business coach and I go and talk with a lot of business owners. And the one thing I know is that they all want more money, right? They all talk to me about, I want more money. So if I say to them, what's the goal of your business? Okay. What's the goal of your business? Then the answers I get back are things like, we want to help people, we want to impact lives, we want to deliver services that are high quality. See, that's a good answer, but that's actually not the goal of business. That's actually the purpose of business, okay? The goal of business, straight up and down, is to make money, okay? Now, that sounds a bit harsh, but that is it. If you go to the ATO in Australia, or if you go to HMRC in the UK, or if you go to the IRS in the US, where we have people watching from the US, right? And you ring them up and you say, what's the goal of business? They'll say, make money. Because governments have two goals that they want. Number one is they want to charge you taxes. So if you're making money, they can charge you taxes. And secondly, they want you to employ people, right? And if you're employing people, they can tax you on that as well. See, so the government is a revenue business. It's in the business of generating revenues. They want you to succeed in business. So the goal of the business is to make money. The purpose of the business is entirely decided by you. You know, what do you value? What are your aspirations? Okay. But I meet people who say to me, you know, I want more money and I want to be able to manage my money better. I'm going to bring it back to money. There's Graham. Hey Graham, good to see you, man. Mate, we should catch up. Yeah. So the Money Chimp is really about, it's about helping professionals eliminate debt, manage their money better. And I say, well, I ask the question, why do you want to manage your money better? Or why do you want more money, right? And they will tell me what they want the money for, but then I'll say, well, why aren't you any good at managing your money right now? Why don't you have enough money now? And they'll say, because. I'll come out with this statement, well, I don't have enough money because I'm no good at managing money. And I'll say, well, why aren't you any good at, so you see that circular argument? So then I'll say, well, why aren't you good at managing money? And I'll say, well, I'm no good at managing money because, and they'll come up with a reason for why they're no good at managing money that makes plausible sense to them. Maybe not to anyone else, but it certainly makes sense to them. So I trained in industrial organisational psychology and I majored in abnormal psychology. And when something clinical presents itself, right, the role of a psychiatrist or a psychologist is to help work out, there's William. Hey William, how are you, mate? William in Holland, connect up with William, great guy. The goal of the psychiatrist or the psychologist clinically is to try and understand the cause of it. So I'm going to make stuff really, really clear to you, right? How the clinical approach. This is there's Karen. Hi, Karen. This is basically clinically how you look at a problem, right? You either look at it from what we call from etiology, and etiology is basically the study of cause, the study of causation. What caused this? And in psychodynamic therapy, Freud was all about causation, right? So Freud basically is the reason my life is like this is because it's mum's fault, or it's dad's fault, or it's my parents' fault. But essentially, it's something that happened in the past. Probably it's unconscious or it's subconscious now. Maybe you've even repressed the memory and forgotten about it, but it's something in my past. So the reason I'm not doing X the reason I'm not doing the behaviour I want in right now is because something that happened in the past. Okay, and it becomes circular, right? So I'm no good with money because of an experience I had when I was a child. See, that's etiology. So when that happens, I was abused. I grew up in poverty. I didn't go to school. These are the reasons I'm no good with money. Right? I've coached young people who've said, I'm no good with money because my mum and dad are career welfare recipients. And I've coached young people who are really good with money who've said, the reason I'm good with money is because my mum and dad were career welfare recipients. It's the same issue, different outcome. The problem with etiology, particularly if you're looking at behaviour, is that it creates this existential crisis, right? If I'm just, the way it works is the way I'm now is because of the past, and that therefore is predictable what will happen in the future. That's very predictable what my future, and that's the reason why I can't be held accountable. I can't take responsibility because of what happened there. That's what the future's going to be like, and this is why I'm like right now. Right? The problem with that is, why do we have goals? Why do you have aspirations? Why do you have ideals? Right? Is that just to tease you? If it's etiology, then this is life's cruel way of teasing you. I want to be this, but I can't be that, and now I'm frustrated. Right? The problem isn't what happened; it's the meaning you gave it, and the meaning you're giving it going forward. And also, at the heart of it is an irresponsibility and a lack of maturity about being responsible for my own life. So etiology is one of the schools of thought. Now, the second school of thought is teleology, which was Albert Adler, who was actually in the same psychiatric group as Freud, in the same professional group. And these two argued about this very, very problem. And teleology is actually the study of purpose, right? So rather than saying I'm no good because of the past, Adler would ask, what's the purpose of not being good at managing your money? See, Adler would say that all behaviour is purposeful, right? The kid that years ago that broke into my house and stole my laptop, right? Very purposeful behaviour, no doubt. Very purposeful behaviour. Very resourceful because he got in. Just not appropriate. There's no responsibility there. There's no maturity there. The belief is, I've grown up in a home where there's no this, so the way you get it is you steal it. See how that now becomes an excuse for poor behaviour, poor performance. And I see this all day, every day when I'm coaching people, particularly in leadership contexts, right? But teleology is the study of purpose, right? I'm doing this because, the ideology is I'm doing this because, and the focus is on the because, whereas it's what am I doing? What's the purpose of what I'm doing? And this is a lot harder because you've got to take ownership of it. You've got to be responsible. You're responsible for your life, right? So the money chimp, it doesn't say it as boldly as that, but essentially, right, spending less, saving more, and getting out of debt faster is about responsibility. It's about deciding being mature enough to decide, what I'm doing right now isn't working for me, so I'm going to be responsible for that. I'm going to be mature, and I'm going to be decisive about where I'm moving towards, and I'm going to be consistent in my behaviour, and I'm going to come from a place of strength. That's what's embedded in this book, right? It's to give you strategies and steps and tools so that you can make those sort of better choices, right? Adler was saying that the past doesn't equal the future, and this has been picked up by NLP as well. The past doesn't have to equal the future. So I'm going to leave it there. I would love to hear your comments. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe. I'd love you to do that. You can go to the Facebook group, Multiply Your Money, and join that group. You can also find Multiply Your Money on LinkedIn. There's a lot of treats and goodies in both of those groups that are nowhere else. And as I said before, if you're getting benefit from these videos, please donate something to Clear Sky Children's Charity. I don't care what it is, if it's £1, £2, £5, whatever it is, but donate something, give back something. Okay, it's a great charity. It does what it says on the tin, and that's the bigger reason for why I do this. I'm doing this because my purpose is to impact the lives of as many people as I possibly can. Hey, have a great day. See you tomorrow.